Hello, welcome everybody on the third live show of Simnest Aviation.
Hello.
My name is Csaba Pavlov and my colleague is Miklós Kacsi as usual, and our cameraman today is Tamás Cseh. So this is the first part of the mini series, and in the first part we showed to you that how is running our new FNPT MCC simulator. In the second part we showed to you that how is running the HMCU and how is easy to replace the chair and the side stick. And we talked about the maintenance packages and the services what we can provide to you. And this is the third part where we would like to, show to you the eQTG, how it is running, and speak about the certification process. I think that's all, and Miklós should start the presentation today.
Okay.
Bye.
So, hi again. As my colleague already told you, today I will try to talk about the certification process of the simulator, but this is a huge topic, so I just really try to make a presentation where you can find a few, let's say, misconceptions about this, because there are many misconceptions. It's a quite complex topic. It's not well understood by everybody, and we will show you how we cope with this situation and how we can help you to have a successful initial and then recurrent qualification with your authority of the simulator. So I will talk about some misconceptions first, okay? Yeah. So the first misconception that is almost always there, and I heard a lot of time that my generic FNPT is an Airbus or Boeing or any other aircraft type. Yeah, well, in a way, I say officially generic device cannot be. So if you have a generic device, that means that you don't have the data package and license from your from the aircraft manufacturer that makes a device to be type specific. But this is very important. To make it is possible but that will take up some more effort and resources from every party. Our portfolio has type specific simulators as well, FTD level 1 and 2, which are, according to EASA regulation, should be completely type specific. It uses aircraft manufacturer data package, and it's based on that one. But that is a huge, let's say, for resource I can tell money and time, and so this is a huge project. Okay, even though your generic FNPT it's not based on a manufacturer data package. This is the way properly do it, but it is not based on a generic data package, and that can be quite expensive. But the most important part is you don't need for MCC and APS training. And what is important, our simulators are let's say even our generic simulators are such close to what you expect from from an airliner, that in your APS training you can use it to train your pilots to be as close as possible to their future type. This is our way to go. There are other companies doing in other way, like more generic approach to this problem. We believe that it is very important for our customers, for the ATOs, to have a device that is very close to what they expect after completing the MCC and APS course. So what we can do to provide you the best device you can find on the market, that is very close to what you expect from a device, and it's like almost a type specific one, but let's put it like that, it's a generic device without a data package, but very close to the original aircraft. The second one, I heard this a lot of time, yeah, FNPT is just an entertainment simulator with some papers. So you cannot be more far from the truth with this, because these simulators are built to last and with regulation in mind. What you have here, and what we implemented in our simulator. It's a completely integrated end-to-end test system. It's called eQTG, and this is a requirement. It's a regulatory requirement to have the possibility to test the system from A to Z, and to have all the possibilities, all the regulatory requirements in your QTG system. So this is we have a completely integrated end-to-end system, and it is very important that a huge set of documentation, I mean, really, it's, well, with papers, but this huge set of documentation should reflect that particular device, so should reflect your device. It's not just some papers, it's the papers about that particular device, okay? What we can provide you, that all of these are included in our package price, so if you order any of our simulator solutions, you will find these papers and these systems, end-to-end testing systems, everything, validation data, data package, everything is packed inside, and you get that with the simulator itself. The next one, yeah, for a generic FNPT simulator, validation data is just a hoax. That is that is far from being true. I can tell you that even in a way, a type-specific simulator is easier to manage because the OEM, you have the OEM data package there. So what the manufacturer told us how to behave, we just take that package, we implement it in the sim, and after that you don't have problems with the authority in a way, because they just compare the data package requirements to the simulator, and you don't have to compile data. You have to, but you don't have to really make up. Let's say, let's put it like that. Don't have to measure data. You get it in one package from the manufacturer. But for the generic, yeah, and it's very important, authorities do read that 1,000 pages of documentation. So if you have a validation data package compiled by you and that is 1,000 pages, authority will read that, and will find all of those small issues you never dreamed of. So, here at Simnest Aviation, we put a huge effort to make a validation data package which is widely accepted by many authorities. Right now we have a few simulators running around Europe, EASA certified simulators, and I can tell you it was a big job for us, and we succeeded very well to make a validation data package that I can tell you was it was quite easy to work with, and the authorities like that. It is very important that our data package and our validation data package is it's implemented with a it has more than one legs, it has more than one stand. So each test is approached from many sides, and we will get the same result from, let's say, physics, mathematics. We measure something on a real aircraft, we measure something on a higher level simulator, and we compile all of these informations in one data package, and every test has at least three ways at least three bases of qualification. So this is very important that every test has this possibility to every authority has the possibility to choose or use all of three, or you can choose between what you want, but actually the test is very so the validation data is very strong for every test. It is very important. Yeah, the next one. Yeah, I have an ATO, so I can operate the sim. It's just a simulator, not an aircraft. Yeah, this is something that even those who have an ATO and run, let's say, 10 aircrafts or 20 aircrafts, they think about the one simulator. It's just a device. It's not an aircraft, so it's easy to operate. Well, EASA FSTD operator. You must be an EASA FSTD operator with a minimum authorized personnel, compliance and safety manager. So you have to have you have to build an EASA entity that is called FSTD operator, and your ATO is not, let's say, enough for that. And operating an FSTD, it doesn't make really, authorities will not make difference if the simulator operational wise, if it's a FNPT or if it's a full flight. You have to have the same, maybe for full flight is a bit more complicated and complex, but the system should be absolutely the same. So you have to build so-called FSTD operator. You have some regulations, Part Origin, Part or FSTD, CSFSTD, and it's a good reference, the Royal Aeronautical Society book to check what you need for this. It's a quite heavy thing, and you have to have a specific training syllabus written specific for this type of device. So you just cannot, let's say you just take a syllabus and you want to implement it on the sim. You have to have your ATO to extend these training manuals with this syllabus. And you have to have properly trained instructors. So, so it is not just something that you got the ATO and I just start operating the sim. And you have lots of documentations first, and all of these should be assessed by your authority. And they are. This is a separate process. The simulator, to get its papers is one thing, and to get the authorization for an ATO to use the FST is another thing. So what we have here, we implemented some template documentation, operating manuals and compliance manual package to reduce the certification time. Put it like that: you have your ATO, and you can have from us a template operation manual and compliance manual. You put your logo in, you fill with your personnel, and it is a ready-made document that, yes, you can and you have to make modifications on it, but actually is there. So it helps a lot. Okay, well, evaluation will be easy because it's not an aircraft. This is, let's say, it's the same as the previous one, but I can tell you it's a 2 days evaluation procedure. From the authority will come one inspector, he is the responsible for the whole inspection, and one technical pilot, so they will come with a pilot. Usually the first day, and you have to have a pilot there who can operate the sim, and the simulator operator who can operate the sim technically, so start it, stop it, and show the QTGs, do the QTGs. So you have to have a properly trained personnel from your side and a pilot from your side, and they will come with an inspector and a technical pilot, and it's a 2-day process. Usually the first day is about the organization and compliance system audit. So you will get a full compliance system audit for your FSTD operator with interviews with the management personnel. So it is almost a 1-day job. The second day, and if the simulator is complex and it has lots of stuff, they will start testing it. They will start testing it in the first day as well. And this is a twofold thing. We have the technical flyout, so the subjective testing, when the two pilots, the pilot that's coming from your part and the authorities pilot coming and flying the sim, they will try the subjective tests actually, so those tests which are there to fly, and the QTG testing of the device. So second day, it's almost always a QTG testing. The authority can ask you to run even the half of the tests you have in your QTG, many of them in manual mode to check if the QTG conforms to and measures what it should measure. So they check every little part of your qualification test guide. What we can do here to help you is to provide you with a competent on-site support team. We will go there, 2 persons, we will go there, and we will help you by being there through the whole qualification phase, and we will help you, and we will make that process very easy for you. All of these items are listed in our maintenance contract. Csaba will tell you a few words about that later. Okay, Next one, what? They are asking for a safety manual. Yeah, this is very cute. You have to have a safety manual even if it's a simulator. Yeah, no way, this is a simulator, you cannot crash. Yeah, you cannot crash, but it's quite important. Yeah, because believe me, it can pose safety hazards. Let's say negative training. And by negative training, it's not just, just a very short example. If your rudder works in other way, like when you push the right rudder and the aircraft goes to the left, and 40 hours, let's say an APS course, in 40 hours, the pilots will get used to that. This is a big thing, but they get used to it. And when they sit in a normal aircraft, they will expect this behavior, and this is a threat to safety. And this is a big one, but can be smaller things you have to be aware of. There is something which is not tied to negative training. Actually, just think about the difference in a general aviation and an airliner artificial horizon bank angle index. The airliner has the scale fixed, and the index is moving in front of the scale, while the general aviation has the scale moving and the index is fixed. So for the first, if you look at those two instruments, it seems that for the aircraft you're turning to the left, and the GA, the general aviation, will show you a turn to the right, which is not true, because if you look at the artificial horizon, will be the same, but the bank angle index is moving in another way, and this can be a hazard. So it's very important that Simnest Aviation will give you a template safety manual, and what is more important than that, risk registers to start with. You have to have a risk register. That means you register all the risk related to operating a sim, and you have to do a research to see what kind of risk you pose to aviation if you use this simulator. And this survey, this search was done by us, and you will come with some risk register, a minimum set of very important safety risks to start with. So you will have a safety risk register at your hands from the start. This is important because authority will check the risk register, and it cannot be empty, because safety is always one step ahead of the thing. So you have to assess before even you start the sim what kind of risks you have. And in the safety manual you will have all the procedures you should have for safety, like root cause and things like that. Okay, next one. As soon as I get the FSTD certificate, I can start the training. No, you have the FSTD certificate, but usually it's not the case. The simulator should be added to your training manual of the ATO using it. So, and that can be a huge process if you don't have the training manual written, you don't have the syllabus written, you don't have the manual written itself, so it can be quite long. The proper instructor should be trained to use that particular device. Okay, you have MCC eyes for, let's say, Beach 200, but that is not good for this simulator. They have to go through a transition training to use this device. Specific syllabus must be created to be used and taking into account the specificities of this FSTD. So actually, you have to train your personnel, and you have to have your training manual based on the simulator you will use, and that can take up a lot of time. So what we do is, in case of an existing device, the time can be shorter. So actually, if you have another device which is very close to this one, you can use that documentation. Even then, you have to include it in the ATO list of training devices. So what we can do here is that we can train your personnel. We have the authorization to do that. Including, we can do MCCIs and provide you with the MCC APS training manuals even. So like you saw, we have templates for everything, and we have a basic MCC and a basic APS training manual, and we can provide this to you at least to have something to start with. And if you think ahead, and even before we start to assemble the sim at our site, you can start making your training manuals, you can start modifying your papers, and when we have the simulator on site and it comes to authorization process, with that in parallel you can start making your ATO to be able to train in it. So actually this is how you can do to start training next day. You have the paper from the authority. Okay, well, the other thing. Yeah, we have the paper, we have the certificate, there is nothing to be done once the sim is certified. No, it is very wrong. You have just a few things. You have to update the navigation data and charts and procedures. This is not the manufacturer, so the authority leaves out the manufacturer from this whole process. So you, as the operator, you are responsible for all of these. And you have to have up-to-date navigation data, or quarterly, it depends, but you have to update the navigation data. And with the navigation data itself, you have to update your charts and procedures as well, because if you use an SID, that's, let's say, in the newer navigation data is not there because it changed. Right now in Europe, many routings are changed around, and yeah, you can head with this problem very quickly. Okay, you have to quarterly run the recurrent objective and subjective QTG tests, assess and document the results. This is a quite, it's not a complicated one, but you have to take care about this, and it is a quarterly thing, so you have to be there. You cannot just leave the sim and yeah, I have the, okay, keep track of all modifications, write journey logs, technical logs, etc. The keep track of all modifications is very important because you will have it in your operations manual, how to do that, and you have to follow that. And authority will come every year and they will re-evaluate the device. And this can be a 2-day process as well, so it's a long one. In our advanced maintenance package, you can choose to have an on-site team to help you with this, and even we can take care of your items. I mean, you are the responsible. But let's put it like that, we will help you where we can and where we are able to help you in making these. First of all, we will check your results. We will see if something is not good. We will help you with taking the sim in front of the authority. They have a successful recurrent audit. So this is a possibility of our maintenance team. So, why are the manufacturers opposing to fix a bit around? Yeah, this is a very important thing. Why just we have to change just a small thing like a PAP on that runway, or I don't know, frequency something. It is not like that. This is the worst nightmare of a manufacturer actually, and it's a worst nightmare of a good compliance manager. It's a seldom understood topic and it's very important. If you touch your simulator, you will lose the certification. And it's very important to know this. You cannot, you don't have the right to touch them only in one way. If there is, and there should be, because there should be included in your manual, a proper way to modify the simulator according to the regulation. And this is a quite complex way. It's not just you go there and fix something because I don't like it. No, it's not that. You have to decide if it's a minor modification or a major modification. If it's a major modification, you have to ask prior authorization from your local NEA. So it is a quite tedious work. And what you can do here, and a very important thing, and we know that this is one of the biggest problems with the operating simulators. We did in a Simnest multifunction control unit supports multiple partition in one simulator, and we will provide you a sandboxed and safe test rig. That means that you can do the modifications you want, or we can do the modifications you want. You can test it, you can run the QTGs, you can check if everything is changed or not. Then you can fill all the paperwork that needs to be filled for that. If it's a major modification, then you can take it to the authority. If they allow you to do the modification, then you just make that test partition the working training partition, and your present training partition will become the next so-called test rig. It will be updated to the last version of the simulator, so you will always have a partition, let's say, to play with, to develop. But this is very important. Then you have to be aware that you cannot just touch a simulator, and we have a very good solution to that. And it is a very important feature of our simulator. Okay, the responsibility is on the operator. Yeah, it's always like that. The authority will will ask that responsibility. But yes, your responsibility is to keep the sim in good shape, documented and unaltered, so you don't touch it. Well, and our responsibility is to provide you with the best solution. And what I mean best solution is not just the sim to be good, but it's to be easy to operate, easy to maintain, easy to run QTGs on it, easy to do the recurrent test. You don't have problems with the device, and we are absolutely aware. We build this device from bottom to top in our mind with the authority in the background, so this is how we can help you, and we are here to help you with all of the above. And yeah, right now I will show you how Simnest Aviation does this in real life. So I promise that it will be a short demo, and right now we will go into the cockpit and check out a few QTG tests and how we do that. Okay. So okay, so right now the simulator is running. Yeah, it's the same simulator you already know about. You saw it hopefully in our previous videos. To run a QTG is not a big deal. You have to put the simulator with working engines on a tarmac, and from that point the QTG software itself will do everything. Here is the QTG software itself. It is started from the multi-control Simnest multi-control unit touchscreen panel. So there is between modules you can find, I don't know if you can show that, but you can find, here is the eQTG running. So this is how it started. Right now this is the maintenance mode of the simulator. You can see that we can do the backup and development mode and things like that. So this is the interface where your maintenance personnel can work with. So this is how they can start the QTG, and it is controlled. So an instructor by any fault cannot start a QTG and make mess in your qualification test database. Okay, so back to the instructor station. The qualification test guide software runs on the instructor station, and here we have some master curves actually for I decided to show you a column position versus force for the first officer side, because it is as I told you, it is an integrated and end-to-end testing system. So the QTG will ask the side stick to send the force data and the position data to the software. It is a very easy way to do a test, which is quite not that easy if you don't have this kind of help. Okay, so hit run. It will start repositioning to the proper place, and then what is quite important, you have two things here to help you. Is it better if I put the lights on, or it's worse? Is better? Okay. So first, what you have here, the so-called pilot input guidance, which guides you have the side stick pointer, you see, and you have those magenta lines, which are the pilot input guidance lines, and they look like a flight director, but they are not a flight director. They are just some lines which have been designed to tell you what to do when you run the QTGs. They're only for QTG mode, and you have some sound, some blinks when you have to do something, so to be prepared to do that. Okay, so right now, if we check the QTG itself, it will say, it has a flashing red inscription, then press autopilot and takeover button to start the test. So right now the test is stabilized, and we can do the pitch force test in the simulator. Okay, so when I push this button, the test will start. You can hear the sound. Okay, and it will have a cling. Okay, and then it will show me what to do. Yeah, if you can look at my hand as well, I'm trying to follow, and it's very easy to follow actually the sweep of the QTG, and everything is recorded automatically in the software, so you don't have to put any external device or equipment to the simulator. Once is calibrated with a officially calibrated device, then authority will accept this as a force test system of your simulator, and you can use it for recurrent testing. So making a static force test for your side stick is easy as that. After a while the test will stop automatically, and I will show you the next. Okay, test stopped, and here are the results. You seldom, you cannot really see the difference. If I really make huge zoom in, you can see that there are two lines, but it's very close to what we expect profile to have. So this is how it how the result looks like for this test. It's very nice. This is a so-called manual test. You have to do it manually because there is no device that can move the side stick around this sweep, but as you could see, it's really easy to do that. Okay, another test I wanted to show you. There is a nice one. Yeah, the transport delay. It's a regulatory. It's a regulatory requirement to test how fast the information propagates through your computers and your IT systems. Back in, let's say, 20 years ago, when this was implemented, this was quite maybe it was much bigger problem than nowadays, when an Ethernet cable can hold up to 1 gigabytes of data without any problem, or 10, or I don't know I don't know where we are, but something like that. But even now, this is a requirement from the authority to do this kind of testing. What we did here, you can select the transport delay mode. I don't want to show you the whole test because it's a quite long one, but what we implemented here, if you select on the eQTG the transport delay mode, the aircraft itself, it will enter in a so-called transport delay working environment, and that will make the side sticks, the primary flight controls, because you have to test the side sticks and the rudder as well on both sides, and all the screens and the visual. The side sticks will put a special package on the local network that will travel from the side stick itself, will travel to the visual and to the DMCs, to the instrument generators. And because the DMCs and the visual are started in this special mode, the picture of these instruments will turn red, which you can measure by an optical sensor, and you can calculate the time difference between when you started the signal from the side stick to that of the optical sensor output. How do we know that the side stick really started that package at that time? Because the side stick has a hardware wiring that comes outside, and you can connect a device to that port, which shows you that this is electronics. These are electrons, or how to do it. It's not software that shows you that you move the side sticks around, and then you can have this very easy. It's a minus, and then you have the transport. Yeah, I will just show you how it will become red because that is quite nice. So if you move the side stick a bit, so if you move the side stick, then it will, and even with eye a bit, you can see the differences between the okay, and this can be measured quite easily with an external oscilloscope. And this is quite important because what is important in the eQTG, to have an external device that measures your internal functioning. So even with the force measurement system I show you with the side sticks, we have to calibrate that force measurement system with a calibrated instrument, which is calibrated by a authorized party, and then you can use the inside system to measure the force on the side sticks and on the rudder and everything. With transport delay is the same. So you have to have a possibility to measure it from outside. And if your internal system is then calibrated with that one, then you can use the data generated by your internal system and the authority accept that. So we automated in a way all of these kind of manual tests, which is right now included in our eQTG system. So this is how a transport delay looks like. This is a manual test as well. Okay. I hope that I was clear. Okay, I switch off this transport delay mode. Yeah. Let's check. These are the list of the tests. Here we have all of the tests that is running in this simulator, and I just choose one for you, the minimum control speed in the air, to check how an automated test looks like. The list of the tests contains a few manual tests which are you have to use a person to do something because it cannot be automated easily. But most of the tests, 90% of the tests are automated, and if you hit run here with all of the tests selected, you can see that all of the automated tests run all of the tests. I mean the full QTG with all of the tests running normal low, direct low, and to make around 90 tests, it's 3 hours and 51 minutes. So it's a quite short test for the full QTG, and then you have a full run of the QTG, and the PDF manager will export you a full document. I will show you that at the end. Okay, so back to this this test I selected. It's to Delta 1 minimum control speed air. Right now the simulator is on the tarmac with engines running, and that's all. And I hit run. And it will reposition everything. I don't have to touch the simulator, and if more than one tests are selected, it will do in sequence. I have to do a silence. Yeah, it's very close to the terrain. The test itself is very close to the terrain. It has a so-called silent mode, and I didn't click that. Here is the silent mode because right now it fails an engine. It is very, very, very close. The test itself begins at 200 feet, so this is why it's shouting. So it begins very, very close to the terrain. This is why it's shouting to low terrain and things like that. Right now, the QTG in the so-called stabilization mode. If you look here, I didn't touch any hardware. It failed one engine. And right now it's stabilizing. Yeah, it's an engine failure. Actually, you can use the eCam during the QTG testing. So this is very important because the authority can see that the simulator itself is not in any case in any kind of special mode. It's absolutely a normal running. You can use the eCam. You can see what happens behind the testing. And QTG software, like a pilot, it's called Math Pilot, driving the aircraft, and you can see that it stabilized the aircraft with the right rudder because we had a left engine failure. You have right rudder input. You have the QTG PIG running even in the stabilization part, and then you can see that it drives the aircraft to be as stable as possible on the track because there are quite low tolerances for these tests, and it's very, very important to have a very stable initial state the test starts with. So right now we will wait for the test to stabilize. It will take 1 minute and 12 seconds from now. What is quite important here, that even when a test is running, it just has a flag that it's running. You can check other tests around, so you can move around the tests and check the other tests how they are doing. You just yeah. So it's in parallel. So the test is done on a 2 Delta 1, but you can use the QTG. Some of the features are disabled because a test is running, so it's not you cannot do anything. But you can browse between tests. You can see the results. You can have you can look at the previous curves to check how your sim is behaving. If you leave it there, let's say you go out for a coffee or something, you don't have to be there. Actually, we are running mostly our own tests on at night, because the simulator can be started from remote. We start it from remote, run the QTG and let it there to run. Okay, we are almost ready with the stabilization, and then if we look outside when the stabilization is completed, okay, just wait a bit, yeah, and it will go, the test starts to come, and the math pilot is giving the proper inputs. So it raises the nose, it tries to lower the speed as much as it can, and it pushes the pedals to keep the bank angle below 5 degrees, which is yeah, and yeah, it tries to find the lowest speed. It seems that it's around 120 knots. Okay, and if you come here, sorry, if you come here, you can see that here is the curve. Yeah, it's actually the same, because it's very good. Yeah, it's not completed yet. Now the test is completed, so I can check around the curve, and it's very good. Example, it's very close, so you can almost see a bit of difference between two lines. The QTG itself, it will check if the test is good or not. It will check if the test itself is completed well, or if it's out of tolerance. And if it's out of tolerance, it will flag the test itself, so you can check it later what happened. And as you see, now we have an engine failure, and if I can run any test in any order, I just hit run, and now I have another test which is a dual engine. Sorry, it's two engines, so it will recover the engine itself, it will recover everything, and it will stabilize for this new test at what altitude? Flight 153. I don't know it's why that, but so as you can see, the QTG now reverted back to two engines. We can check the status. It's just because it doesn't. It will come back in a minute. It's because of the bleed. It's not running. Yeah, status normal. So it recovered the engine failure, and now it's doing another test. There is a button on the iOS that you can run all tests one together, and there is another very important button when you don't want to test anymore. You just hit stop. Now we stop the simulator. And you don't have the. If you see, you don't have the QTG PIG on the screen. And just for a game, we put in climb. I don't know. We exit the QTG software. We will get back the sound, okay? And we can sit in the seat, and we just stop the test. In the middle of the test, I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah, you can just start flying the sim. Okay. And see, everything is working correctly. And if I want to do another test, I can just start it from here. So the QTG is not a special mode. It's really a pilot sitting here, a software pilot sitting here and doing the tests how in manual mode the pilot would do. Okay, there's an airport. We are too high. Okay, so from my part, this was all. I want to let Csaba to tell you a few things, really just a few things about our maintenance packages that are there to support you in this process of qualification and requalification of your device. Thank you. Keep safe, and this is my last show. This is our last show in this period, but we will have more. Okay, so stay tuned. Okay, Csaba.
Okay, Hello, welcome back everybody. So yes, our maintenance packages, as we discussed last time, is included this kind of services what we can provide to our customers. The basic, the plus, and the premium, and of course the SLA is also included, some of them, but it depends on what you will order from us. If you are buying the navigation database from us, then we can provide to you the service and update your navigation database. It is not mandatory, so you can buy it yourself, and this is the operator responsibility. So you can do individually if you wish. Of course, we can help to you in on-site preventive maintenance, for example, and we can go to you before the recurrent audit and help to prepare your simulator for the recurrent qualification. Of course, not all of these services are basic service in the packages, and not all is available in all packages. So the basic is not included too much from this. Of course, it depends on what you choose from us. So if you buy in the navigation database, it is available in all packages, of course. So what we can offer to you that, for example, as I mentioned, we can do on-site preventive maintenance. It is help to you to keep your device on performing at optimal level, and this is really important because it is your responsibility. Of course, we are helping to you, but it is the operator responsibility. All, as Miklos has described, it is all the operator responsibility, and we are just helping to you to do it easily and really successful. We are providing other services, for example, obsolescence management. It could be, this is not directly belongs to this kind of services, but it can help to you to keep your device in optimal level with a long time. Because we can give you a lot of extra information, we can provide a lot of extra, for example, devices, what you can change in your simulator, and it helps to you to keep your simulator in this very smooth level. And yeah, if you are buying SLA, it is included all these kind of services. So we are providing everything to you because the service level agreement is, as we are mentioned, is included an uptime guarantee, and it is really important that we can provide it to you. I think that's all what we can tell you right now in this show about these services, but please don't forget, should you need more information, do not hesitate to contact us by email or sales@simnest.com or visit our website simnest.com. And yes, this is the last part of our mini-series, but yes, we will come back later and we will show to you more interesting topics later. So thank you very much, check our lives, and yeah, have a good day. Bye.